What's up guys, some of you may have seen from my community post that I entered a local the other night. You guys know I don't care to compete, I just play this game for fun and make content out of it because I enjoy doing so. But since I get so many comments from you guys about tournaments, I decided to do this one just for you guys, and in this video I'll go over my experience. I won the tournament, but what I'm most happy about is that I did so with a mix of both Sephiroth and Bowser. My first match was against Steve. Keep in mind this was a small tournament, so there wasn't a stream. I'm just talking over some replay footage that I have against the characters I played against in bracket. I did manage to save one replay from Grand Final set and record it on my phone, so we'll include that at the end even though it's like crappy phone quality. Anyway, the Steve I played against is actually the same Steve that beat me the last time I did a tournament, which was like August of last year. He beat my Bowser and Cloud last time. Back then, my Sephiroth wasn't what it is now, and I didn't have faith in it for that matchup at the time, but my Sephiroth has evolved tremendously, as you guys know, and is a completely different beast than it used to be. I've gotten better at the matchup, and general consensus is that Sephiroth actually does pretty well against Steve. In my opinion, I think it's even at best because Steve is so explosive and Sephiroth can get blown up so easily if he gets touched even just once. You can be in advantage all this time, but if you get hit by one up tilt, all of a sudden you got 70%, which is kill percent for Sephiroth, and your lead is gone, right? But I knew that regardless, out of all my characters, I'd want to go Sephiroth if I was ever put up against a Steve. Played the matchup really well with a focus on making the most out of the sword's range, doing my best not to get touched at all, and controlling neutral and maintaining advantage state with the orbs. Beat him definitively with a clean 2-0, which was super rewarding because the Sephiroth did what the Bowser and Cloud couldn't do back then. And that was indicative that the work I put in with Sephiroth since the last time we played was worth it and it paid off. Next, I played against the Bylift. I like Bowser for this matchup because his speed and frame data allow me to close the gap and overwhelm Bylift. I'm also really familiar with the matchup because one of my IRL homies mains Bylift. Shout out to Gray. Won the game pretty dominantly, so we switched to Pokemon Trainer in the next game. I stayed Bowser because I can actually fight Squirtle as Bowser. As big as Bowser is, his out of shield game and grab game allow him to actually handle Squirtle's pressure, whereas Sephiroth would just completely get rolled over. Also, with Squirtle being so small and Sephiroth's hitboxes needing to be so precise, it always feels impossible to hit Squirtle as Sephiroth. So stuck with Bowser and won that set 2-0. Next, I played against a Sora and Piranha Plant player. I like Sephiroth more for both of these matchups. This was the first best of 5. He went Sora first, and it was a pretty close game until I slowed the pace down by playing more spaced and Orby. One of Sephiroth's strengths is doing well against floaties. Up air is king against floaties for juggling and anti-airing their approaches. And Sephiroth can edgeguard and ledge trap Sora really well. After that, he switched to Plant, and Plant is actually the character that I first ever felt I preferred Sephiroth over Bowser for. I won that game cleanly, but for game 3 I decided to switch to Bowser just to try Bowser versus Plant. And I can say I was right that I prefer Sephiroth for that matchup. Orbs are the key because I can stick orbs while Plant sets up the ball or fog. Versus as Bowser, you have to get yourself in there, and as such a big hitbox, you often take trades against those zoning tools. The Bowser game was really hard and close, and it was basically last hit, last stock, and I actually had to bring it back as a reverse 3 stock. Regardless, I did manage to clutch out that final game as well in order to win the set 3-0 and move to Grand Finals on winner's side. Grand Finals was against a Roy who played a great bait and punish game with a really strong advantage state. Here's the one game from Grands that I managed to save the replay and record for you guys. Excuse the phone quality, but I hope you guys enjoy it anyway. I started with Bowser because I actually like Bowser against the pressure characters a lot more than Sephiroth, and I actually think Bowser beats all the sorties. Online, that is. Offline it's different because Roy and Chrom can really abuse Bowser in disadvantage as long as they execute correctly. Each game was close. I won game 1, I SD'd game 2 after having a really good lead, and this actually completely reversed the momentum of the set. He did well capitalizing off this momentum shift and won both game 2 and game 3. So now I was down 2-1 and I hovered over Sephiroth on the select screen for a minute. He was converting advantage states really well, so maybe with Sephiroth I just camp and zone really hard with range and orbs and don't let him get in advantage state at all. But in my experiences against Roy and Chrom, I'd say I'm more comfortable with Bowser because Sephiroth just gets blown up and dies if he gets touched, right? So with Bowser, I have to play a more honest game. I'll take damage in those disadvantage states, but my weight can let me live and bring it back. So I decided to stay Bowser, focusing on a defensive out of shield game plan and neutral, and when I'd get a lead, I'd push advantage state really hard and make the most out of it. I won game 4 and game 5 this way, winning grand set 3-1 and taking first place in the tournament. I actually asked to play friendlies with him after to try Sephiroth against Roy and won that as well, mostly due to the ledge bait shenanigans. So who knows, maybe even if I did switch to Sephiroth it would have been fine. At the end of the day, we took first anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. Shout out to my other homie Kui as well for the Roy Kron matchup experience, as well as helping me warm up for the tournament. Overall, it was a lot of fun and really rewarding to do well with both my characters and feel like I made the right choices for each of those situations. I don't care to compete in the first place, so I really don't know if I'll do more tournaments, also because I simply can't afford that time between everything I have going on in life. But I did this one for you guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about my experience and watching that one game from Grounds. Beyond anything, I'm really happy that I did well with both my characters, Bowser and Sephiroth, and it felt good to have a place for both of them, to choose them in the right scenarios, and do well with both in each of the situations. Also, I'm really glad the games were reported with the little icon so we could see the W taken by these characters that you guys on the channel and I myself love so much. That's it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, leave a like on the video, drop a comment below, and subscribe to the channel if you're not subbed already. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.